Hello, this is another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
And I just booted. And I'm Kurdan Sourpuss. And I'm pretty buzzed right now.
Actually, we both are.
Yeah.
So, we both came back home, and we decided it's a bokeh night.
Bokeh.
So we decided to get totally blitzed in the kitchen, making bokehs, which were absolutely amazing.
Why were they amazing?
Because it's fun to cook from time to time.
Yes, it is.
Now, I have to admit, over the last 3-4 months, I've kind of gotten a bit lazy as far as cooking and whatnot.
Yes, you have.
Although...
Lots of ordering out, lots of Jimmy John's, lots of pizza.
Well, it's because when you come back from work, you get too tired to clean the dishes, and then
Lazy.
people get pissed off, yeah.
Lazy.
But then again, it's like, I have enough energy to make the food, eat the food, and then at the end of the night, I'm in bed. Shouldn't have to be the case, but unfortunately, you just get so tired by the end of your night that you're literally going to be in bed as soon as you are done eating.
Especially when you have to go to bed as early as I do.
Yeah, which actually you don't have to go to work tomorrow, so you can stay up a bit later.
I don't have to work tomorrow, and I probably will not go into work tomorrow.
That is good.
Speaking, I didn't even check my schedule, though. I will check that.
Putting a paid time off.
I don't know. Like they didn't have me scheduled today, but yet I went in. And had I not gone in, my coworker would have been flying solo.
Your entire shift?
Yep.
Wow.
Which would have sucked.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
So we did bokehs tonight. We did basically just hamburger, meatless veggie burger bokehs.
Right.
We fried them.
On a pan with some garlic, olive oil.
Extra virgin.
Ooh.
More virgins for
The cherry hasn't been popped.
Yes.
It should literally just be like, when you unscrew the cap, it should just be a vagina. No, it should be both a vagina and an asshole. Oh, yeah. No. What have I done?
You went there. You went all the way
But
down.
seriously, though, it's extra virgin. And it's got like a safety film seal. And it's a flower, and you have to pop the flower. It's like, oh. But, yeah, that was a good choice with the garlic extra virgin olive oil, which was a good touch.
And then you wanted to toast the hamburger buns.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't let you throw them in the toaster.
Because that's what I would normally do.
And why was it okay the way we did it?
I actually think so too. It was soft.
Good. Soft on the outside, but crispy on the inside.
And then toasty on the inside. And I decided to put a small dab of butter on the upper bun to get a little bit of some buttery goodness.
How was that?
It was very good, actually. I actually did not notice the butter at all, or I'm that buzzed.
It probably melted pretty good and soaked into the bread.
Yeah, it was literally a small square of butter that I used on 2 buns. Yeah. So that amount of butter was probably negligible, but it was
I'm
nice.
Sure it was something. I added a little bit of salt to it.
It was quite nice, actually.
Good.
And then caramelizing onions, which... As you don't know, I'm actually an onion fan. I absolutely like my onions. There was a long time where I hated onions, and then I discovered onions.
I only know you as liking onions.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I didn't know what to think about onions, so I didn't like them at first. Then my grandfather made me an onion sandwich. Because that's what he had as a kid growing up in the Great Depression, but also during much of World War II. And they had a victory garden, so they grew as many onions as they could, so they substituted meat with onions. So it was mayonnaise, 2 pieces of bread, some salt, onions, and that was it. And he made me an onion sandwich, and for some unknown, odd reason, it just said, you know what? Onions aren't bad.
So what was on this onion sandwich anyway?
That was it.
Just onions?
Onions, bread, mayonnaise, and salt.
Mayo.
Literally just that. Or butter.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, it was legit just that. And you know what? For some reason, it just allowed me to grow into enjoying onions more.
Nice.
But, yeah, we caramelizing onions is maybe my most fun thing to do, and yet it pisses off the rest of the household that I'm burning stuff. But if you caramelize an onion good enough, oh my god, is it amazing. Not to the point where it's burnt crisp, because at that point you taste more carcinogens than you do onion.
Yeah.
But if you can find a happy medium of absolutely caramelizing an onion to perfection and burning it to charcoal, oh my god, caramelizing onion is like a kitchen pastime for me. Oh my god,
that is good stuff.
Yeah, so pretty much onions is always my go-to thing for any dish, is it's got to have an onion in it. Maybe a whole onion, but it's going to have at least half an onion in it. I don't know, I just enjoy it. So we did that, and I put on Dijon mustard, which is a nice touch. I didn't put too much, because knowing me, I would probably overdo it, so I didn't put too much. And it was a nice touch. And the same with the A1 steak sauce on a Boca burger, which there's no meat at all, but you know what? Not only does it taste good, it almost adds like a placebo effect that you're actually eating meat.
Yeah.
Which, even better. And tofu is meatless. Tofu is literally just protein. It's just soy-based. And you know what? I enjoy frying. Although I have yet to deep fry tofu, but I have pan-fried tofu, and it tastes pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I just have to find a way to not make it totally burnt. Not burnt in the sense that you can't eat it, but burnt in the sense that it is definitely crisp, but it's not fully cooked through. For the most part it is, but I had sesame tofu a few days ago from my favorite Chinese place, which I never had before, sesame tofu, or had it from this place, so I was doing it, new things at the same time, and it was amazing. I like my beef lo mein, I like my beef fried rice.
Yep.
I don't tend to stray away from that so much, but now I'm going to add sesame tofu to my Chinese enjoyment of food. But as far as like meatless stuff, I am a fan of it. I do enjoy my meat, believe it or not. Well, I would hope so. I enjoy my meat, but sometimes it's nice to eat meatless from time to time. It's a good balance.
Yep.
Yeah, so we ended up toasting buns on not a skillet, but on a pan with some garlic oil. We did that with the bocas, with the onions, so they all tasted somewhat garlicky, but it was not overdone in the garlic. It was a nice side taste.
Yeah.
If I ever tasted it, it was still a good flavor.
Yep.
I like to think I am a competent cook. I'm a very experimental one. As Kurdan would probably know, having dated me for 5 years, I experiment with quite a bit of things. A lot of it tends to be pretty damn okay, and then some of it just turned out to be quite strange. But I think my favorite one is making a mixture of Mexican and German food, spätzle with chorizo and Chihuahua cheese.
Yeah.
I don't make it often. I bought as much spätzle in a bag as I can, which sits in the cupboard right now. I just need to buy a couple tubes of chorizo.
Yep.
A nice expensive bag from Aldi of Chihuahua cheese, which really works incredibly good. Pan fry some Spätzle, and it makes a really nice, moderately spicy but delicious dish.
Yes.
What are some things you like to make?
I like to make everything, but there's some things that you don't like that I make.
If it's got kale,
I
although
live-
that one time you didn't do it right, but after chewing that much kale,
Yeah, that was my fault.
that was so much chewing. I could not.
I ruined it for you because that dish is fantastic.
It was all right. I just kept chewing on it.
Yeah.
I just kept chewing on it.
That's because I half-assed. Making that dish, literally it is Italian sausage, kale, tomato, onion, like Great Northern beans,
Yep.
and noodles of whatever you're choosing, whatever you like, all in a pot. I'm forgetting something in there probably.
I think it was Italian sausage.
Yeah, it was Italian sausage, so you can have mild or spicy. The key with that recipe is preparing the kale. And by preparing the kale, I mean literally pulling out every spine. So if you have solid leaves of kale, you've got to pull out the spine. Or tear out all the part of the leaf, leaving the spiny part.
Mm-hmm.
That would preferably be considered, wow, that's not even a real word, preferably.
I mean, it's very much fiber.
It would be the crunchy part of the leaf. You have to leave it out. And I promise it won't be as bad. Anybody out there that dislikes kale, you get rid of that fucking spine, that basically the thing you see in all leaves that fall from trees.
Uh-huh.
You have to remove that part. If you don't, you'll be chewing on it for a half an hour.
Sponsored by Blatz and Miller High Life.
Unofficially.
Unofficially.
Don't
Actually,
flag us for that.
we probably got less money for doing that.
Probably. We actually owe them more money now.
We owe them more money now. But,
So yeah, there's that dish. There's the kale dish. The Italian sausage and kale.
you made a whole ton of kale that day.
I did.
Yes, you did.
But I make
I give
up
you
for
credit
it.
for creativity.
I make up for it by my breakfast burritos.
There was breakfast. It's been so long since that happened.
I'll make some tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll make some this weekend. It's just eggs, bacon, onions, cheese, and lots of sriracha mayo. It's very good.
Oh, I'm buzzed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you like my breakfast? Blah, blah, blah.
I do like your breakfast burritos.
Yes.
They were very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God, they're so good.
Our homemade subs that we make
Yes.
are
Now
always good.
that's fun. So pretty much the whole inspiration of that was going out to Cousin Subs, which is apparently a Wisconsin chain.
Yep.
Because I gave Kurdan one time that I visited, like a whole bunch of coupons that I stole from someone,
Ah.
and one of them was coupons for whatever other store that was kind of prevalent around, and one that was Cousin Subs.
Mm-hmm.
When I gave him, it's like, what is Cousin Subs? And like, oh, it's a Subway sandwich chain. Like, oh, I don't think we have that. I'm like, oh crap. So I just gave you coupons for a restaurant that you can't get in Illinois. It is quite nice, but the whole inspiration to my sandwich that we both ended up creating was an Italian special, which honestly, you know what? If we can find the right bread, but otherwise exactly identical, and I was so proud.
Yep.
Including down to the vinaigrette and a bit of olive oil mix.
Yeah.
To give it that exact texture of taste.
And I like to put a nice heavy sprinkle of Parmesan cheese on there as well.
That was always good. We would shrink wrap it because the thing got so big. And you know what? $21 for 3 sandwiches, and they were 16 inches long.
Those are big ass sandwiches.
That's an inch longer than Cousin Subs, and that's an extra 4 inches from Subway.
Yep.
And for $21 of all of the things that you need to make a sandwich, we made 3 of them.
Yep.
We were living off on sandwiches for a good while.
Yep.
And that was incredible. I enjoyed that. And every single coworker at my job complimented me on where I got my sandwich and say, "Oh, I made it." "You made it?" And then they totally in disbelief started ramming their spaghetti from a can in their holes because they were so jealous.
Yep.
While looking at me, no, it's just absolutely throwing coal in a boiler.
Yep.
But we did a good job doing that.
Definitely. Since then, I've done other variations of that on just regular bread, aside from the Italian or French bread that we bought.
Mm-hmm.
I also did.
I think we did it in a wrap as well.
Yep, I did it in a wrap, which actually it turns out really good too. Because of my photographic memory. Wow, I am so buzzed. Okay, Elmer Fudd.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that because it's am I getting there? The very, very awkward ass rope face.
What's the place we went to for burritos that one time?
That'd be Qdoba.
Qdoba's.
Which
burritos.
they do have great burritos. I will
They
say.
do, but because of that,
it has inspired you to
not just
learn.
inspired me. I learned how to roll a burrito because of them, watching them.
You know what would be funny is if you go to Qdoba and say, "Hey, I want a burrito," and then as they're rolling, "I know your corporate secrets now." It's just have them watch
Or
you.
run behind the counter and do it myself. I'll roll my burrito.
You're a natural. How did you do this? I've been buying your burritos for years.
I have photographic memory.
I have talented hands.
But yeah, because of them, I learned how. And I've been doing it ever since. I love rolling burritos. I absolutely love it. What else do I make? What else? Some basic soups. I do make a pretty mean pizza.
You do make a really mean pizza.
Yeah. Of course, inspired by, oh my God.
Oh,
It's not a
Mod Pizza.
Mod Pizza, yep.
You know what's, I think you make it chili, right? I think you've made chili in the past.
I have made chili. Yes.
With vegetables and whatnot, which is pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
Then I add as much cheese to it because it needs more cheese.
I did make a pecan pie.
That was incredible. That was absolutely fantastic. That was maybe my favorite pie that I had this weekend. I was actually kind of sad that I didn't have as much as I wanted to, because it's I had the very last pecan pie, Whether if you pronounce it pecan, or pecan, that was some good pecan pie.
Good.
I enjoyed that. It was actually very sweet, and the nut was a good base. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just know that a nut is a base.
Nut is nut.
Yeah. I don't know. I absolutely just like cooking.
Yeah.
It's now in high school. I normally ate whatever my folks made. But I noticed that in the last year of high school to pretty much the summer between high school and then college is when I started transitioning into experimenting more and more into cooking, but just, buying food for myself, which I've been doing for 9 years at this point. So at this point, I have already, over the course of many years, understand what I enjoy, cook what I buy, and then experiment to see what I could make that tastes amazing. Which I'm a very experimental person. But I've also experimented different ways to cook ramen noodles, and making ramen noodles in a coffee maker. There's been some nights where it just gets so bad where I decided to feel hungry and desperate, but I didn't want to wait to boil a pot of water, which is normally the way you would make ramen noodles. There's also the microwave way, but I also wanted something faster and a bit more easier. And I decided to make ramen noodles in a coffee maker. And you know what? Wasn't that bad. And then add some sauces in it, just to kind of give it some nice texture. Now, you're familiar with the square packet of ramen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how plain and basic it really is.
Yes.
Really, you get a packet of seasoning, that's it, nothing else. Some of the more really expensive ones where you get dried vegetables, you might be given a hot sauce packet and an oil sauce packet to give it the oil texture, and the spiciness packet with even possibly a vegetable packet and whatnot and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the cat.
No.
What is it, Mom?
Yep. That's definitely not the cat.
Oh, I was gonna say the cat's on. The cat is
going through pots and pans.
Yeah, but
the cat's so well trained that it's doing the dishes.
Aw. It's just with ramen noodles, I've decided to buy soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, pretty much anything that's a sauce. Would make my coffee pot of ramen, drain the liquids out, pour sauce in, whip it around, and I have some really nice tasting stuff that's just not plain old ramen, which after a while you get bored of. And believe me, after 2 months of eating ramen as is, and then the amount of ramen that I ate in college is disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much by 2014, even 2015, I really couldn't eat ramen all that often because I just got so fed up with it.
Yeah.
I only started eating ramen last year because I bought a car.
Yeah.
And I did a checkbook miscalculation, and I realized I had less money than I thought I had. So then I lived on ramen for a month, and reminded me of college. I don't know.
Yeah, you get tired of that when you have to be on it for so long.
Yeah. But it's fun to experiment with stuff.
Yep.
What are some things that you experimented that you wanted to liven something that you've always had, felt it was plain? Was there anything that you've done to make something that was ordinary into special?
Those Knorr noodles. They're supposed to be a side dish, but I add like chicken or meat to them. Add onions.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Add a little bit more milk to it to make it. Just make the sauce be more saucy.
To make it more thick.
Yep. Thicken the sauce.
I tend to sprinkle cheese into mine to make it more cheesy.
Definitely add cheese.
I tend to make my macaroni and my Knorr noodles more cheesy. Sometimes I on purpose would buy spicy queso. Just dump a whole bunch of it inside the pot once it's all like mixed and whatnot and cooked. Then just mix the whole thing together, and it is the most amazing thing ever. Granted, can't have it often, but maybe I should explain how I cook things. The amount that I make is not what I eat in one sitting.
Oh, no.
When I would make food, especially during college, and a bit now, and still continues to this day is, I tend to make enough food to last me a couple days.
Yep.
Because at least that way I don't have to worry about making food. I can relax and whatnot and just heat it up in a microwave, nom, relax, watch some dumb stuff on YouTube, and then just kind of pass the time. But it is fun to mix Knorr noodles or like Kraft mac and cheese.
Yep.
Add a little bit of queso to it, and it kind of pops.
I did do how do I say that? Reenactment. I recreated the Max barbecue beef.
Oh, that's right. And it was good.
Barbecue beef mac and cheese.
That was fantastic. And for those who are not familiar, because I actually don't know where mac and cheese... mac and cheese... so it's the mac and cheese shop.
Max.
Also known as Max. I actually don't know where they're based out of, but it's something we have a few here and there.
Yep.
And they make some really good mac and cheese.
They do. Their hangover is really good. I'm going to do that one next. It's just hot dogs, mac and cheese, some sriracha, some other like onions and garlic. It's so good.
Which, at one point, I did have a hangover once, and I ended up buying a mac and cheese just to cure a hangover. Those were interesting times. Here's an interesting subject. What is an incident in cooking that actually hurt you? Like an unintended accident.
Oh, God. It's embarrassing.
Oh, no.
So, when I was like 17, after I had started my first job, my first real job, working for a video game shop that I loved in the mall, I realized that the $7.25 or $7.50 an hour that I was making was not enough money. My paychecks were like barely $650. And I was like, this is not cutting it. Actually, not even that, no. I think my paychecks were like $550, $570.
I don't even... I remember the year, and that was 2009. Because I started working in 2009.
Yeah.
I only worked a full month at $6.25 an hour until they made it the legal limit to be $7.25 an hour. And I thought, oh wow, I'm getting an extra $1. And I started like thinking I was rich and whatnot.
Yep.
But little do I know now. But
Yep.
So you may have been making like $5.25 or even $6.25 at that point.
It wasn't much. Anyway, I realized that I wasn't making that much money, so I applied for a second job in the same mall, but it was a different store. It wasn't a video game shop. It was a pretzel rolling place.
Was it Auntie Anne?
It wasn't it. It was Annie Ann's Pretzels.
They got good pretzels.
I still know how to roll a pretzel. I can still do it if I have the dough.
We should make pretzels.
We
one
should
day.
make pretzels.
Maybe in Christmas.
Yeah.
That would be fun to do.
I have a good recipe for dough. I would go in at 5:30 in the morning and squeeze lemons for an hour because we had hand squeezed lemonade.
Did it ever go in your eye?
No.
Oh,
But it did get underneath the glove and into my hangnails.
fingernails.
Hangnails.
Oh,
sometimes.
no.
It burnt. It burnt a lot. And it was a fancy little metal squeezer. So you'd put the lemon in,
It had
you'd
a
pull it
hinge,
down,
then
and then it would double back once to open it all the way out. Switch the lemon out.
Oh, okay.
Pull it down. Pull it back up. Switch the lemon out. But I remember one time they were like, I had just finished squeezing lemons. They were like, "Hey Joe, can you grab the next tray of pretzels? They should be ready." Sure, no problem. This was my first or second day there.
Uh-oh.
And they weren't even watching me, and I went and I reached in the oven to pull out the pan with my plastic gloves still on my hands from squeezing lemons.
Oh, no.
I was...
Oh, no! Whoa.
The plastic melted to my skin.
And then the lemon hurt and stung.
So then I couldn't feel my fingertips after that.
Oh.
I was
So
not in
fun.
great shape. I had blisters.
Oh.
Yeah. I was young. I was 16.
You want to know my stupid thing that I have done?
Yes.
And it was done like 2 or 3 years ago? Yes. So there I am, totally drunk off my ass. You know it's going to be a good story when you're totally buzzed as fuck. And I decided to make, I forget if it was either Knorr noodles or mac and cheese. I forget which, but I'm boiling water.
Yep.
I put pasta in a pot. Here I am literally like, I think a 6-pack in already within about 90 minutes, because you know what? After you have a really bad day or a really good day, you know what? Sometimes I go all the way in.
We know that.
Giggity.
Giggity.
So there I am, wearing these exact same Crocs, these yellow Crocs that I'm wearing right now.
Yep.
However, I'm not even, actually no, I was wearing socks at the time. So then you know how when you mix a
Crocs and
pot,
socks.
Crocs and socks, while totally blitzed out of my mind, I may have been on 6 cans of beer or 8 cans of beer at that very moment. And I was totally like living in an astral plane existence at that point.
Yeah.
So, you know when you hold the pot in your left hand, if you're right-handed, you have a wooden spoon,
Yes.
and you're going to stir the pot, right?
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, you stir the pot with the wooden spoon on the bottom of the pot. You're mixing things around, and then all of a sudden, the wooden spoon stops on a clump of pasta that's stuck to the bottom of the pot, right? So you know how you have to use a little bit of aggressive force to jar the thing off the bottom of the pot.
So it doesn't stick and get burnt.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did that. I did it in the exact direction the splash zone was my feet.
Oh, no.
And it happened to be 1 foot, and a small amount of scalding water had landed directly on my feet, through my socks, through my Crocs. There we go. I am so drunk, I knew what happened. I didn't feel a single thing. I was that drunk. Where my body was totally numb of any bit of pain. And says, oh, that's gonna suck. I may as well just keep making noodles and then worry about what happens next. So I ended up just pretty much made noodles, ate. I may have texted you or messaged you and say, I just scooped some water out of my pot and it had landed right on my foot. Or I may not have told you anyway, I don't know. But anyway, the day after, my foot started burning, hurting. And I don't know if it was a 1st or 2nd degree burn. It was definitely not a 3rd degree burn, but enough to blister the skin directly off my foot. I think it's a scar still on my foot to this day. And I came over to visit one weekend, and I showed you my burn. Says, oh yeah, I burned my foot the other day making noodles. Like, oh, let me see. And like, there it is. And like, wow, we should put cream on that, which made it feel good. And then you gave me a bottle of cream, and then I started on my foot. It felt good. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
I don't think I'm going to make it very long.
Uh-oh.
The wave of tired is hitting me.
Uh-oh, the cat's about to loaf.
Tonight, what was today? Today was Tuesday.
Today is a Tuesday.
We opened an hour early.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was up at 2.
That's odd.
I went to bed at 7:30 and woke up at like 2:30. So
wow.
I've been up for how long? What time is it now?
It is 9:07.
2 to 2 is 12 hours. Well, 2 to 2, 2:30 to 2:30 is 12. What, 17, 18, 19 hours?
Probably. So you're on the verge of loafing.
I am. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I've been doing overtime a lot lately, and it sucks, but at least I'm hoping that for the rest of the week I get enough money to where overtime is well more than worth it. If I don't do any more overtime than past today, then it's not worth doing overtime for the rest of the week or next week. But
so we actually have a sign up that says no overtime right now.
Wow.
Because we're in our final quarter.
Oh, to make your stockholders happy and whatnot.
Yeah. But I've been taking only half an hour instead of a full hour lunch and staying an extra half hour every day, so I sneak in 1 hour of overtime every day.
That's how you do it. And no one's complained to you about it, huh?
So over the course of 5 days, I have 5 hours. Over the course of a paycheck, I have 10 hours of overtime.
Okay, you know what? If you can get it by with that without anyone noticing.
So each paycheck, I loaf an extra...
$200.
Well, is it? No.
Maybe.
At $13 an hour?
Yeah. Actually, if you did 10 hours of overtime, that would be close to $200.
After taxes.
Maybe.
Yeah, so somewhere somebody is like, how is this guy working this many hours? And
no,
then,
he's a sourpuss. We'll just let him loaf anyway.
Yep, they have to.
It's loafing rules.
Yep.
You want to hear something amazing?
Mm-hmm.
So, yesterday, my company finally hit budget. Not just budget, but also made profit.
Yeah. What?
So that is a sign that my company hasn't made a profit in so long that they've not actually told us that we've not been making a single profit.
So
in I don't
every
know
time
how
they
long.
didn't say anything, they literally were just losing money.
Well,
Probably not just losing money; they were probably hemorrhaging it.
This is our first profit in 11 months.
That's pretty sad. How can they even afford to pay you guys?
I don't know, but I'm taking as much overtime to drain them of their wallet ball sack as they can.
I hope they cut the hours of your, or cut the salary of your manager.
I hope so. That would be amazing. That would be amazing because he doesn't do shit. All he does is threaten me to work faster, even though I am working as fast as I can.
Yep.
It's like, dude, the fuck. Calm your oversized pepperoni tits
Seriously.
that has dogs hanging off of him and his poor wife, and just chill out, dude.
Yeah.
It's like all of today was, oh yeah, hurry up because I've got promises to make. Well, you should not have made promises that you say you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Just chill out. I mean, I'm only going as fast as I possibly can, and I certainly would like to get things out, but...
How is your coconut covered?
Let's talk about coconut. You want to talk about coconut?
Coconut.
And then probably cancel, or not cancel, but probably end this podcast short. So, we were on the discussion of coconut. Do we like it? And honestly, I do not mind the taste of coconut. And... have you ever had, well, of course, coconut raw? And I mean, you take a coconut, you chop it in half, then you eat the flesh of the coconut.
Yes.
And you know how it's got that weird but unique texture.
It's almost a milky,
right?
shaved texture.
It's like a fibrous, milky texture that I can't fully explain what it is, but it tastes amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some things on coconut I may not be too crazy about on an artificial level. However, raw coconut I can accept, especially in chunks. Coconut, sorry, I'm hiccuping, and chocolate.
Yes.
That's a good mixture.
I don't like coconut shavings because they get caught in my teeth.
I can understand that. Although eating solid chunks of coconut may have done the same thing, but at least I know I'm eating straight coconut. If I'm having a cookie or whatever with coconut shavings on it, I want to enjoy what I'm eating without the feeling of, oh, I have a shard of coconut between my teeth.
Yep.
Whereas if I'm eating just straight up coconut, I know exactly what I'm eating and I'm fine with it.
It's not a comfortable feeling, honestly.
No. That does require some flossing.
You have to let me know how the coconut covered granola bar is.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
I can taste coconut.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a shaved coconut flesh.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay, now yeah. The full taste of coconut. Oh yeah. Now,
With chocolate, it's a nice balance.
it's a really good balance. Oh yeah. There are days where I'll take coconut on its own. And then some days where I like to add a little bit more to that coconut.
Mm-hmm.
Though in some cases, if it's an artificial coconut flavor, I don't like it. For some reason, I just like plain old, straight coconut. Which is just odd, but I enjoy it.
Yep. I do too. I think I'm going to loaf.
Alright, I think it's a good time to end this. So, this has been another episode of the Zooming Hoosk Podcast, and I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sarpos.
Thanks for tuning in. a bit of a shorter episode, but figured we'd talk more about cooking stuff. So, something different. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.